Democrats think minorities are stupid, and they have absolutely no respect for them. And if you think I'm off base here, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Democrat governor of the state of New York, Kathy Hochul.
Ain't nothing changed, nothing new here to see. This ain't nothing but some political maneuvering.
America.
Welcome to the eulogy, eat it up. It's called political buffoonery.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to This Week in DUMBmocracy, where we showcase some of the dumbest newsmakers of the week. What you're looking at right now is video from Kathy Hochul's YouTube page featuring a visit she made to an early education center in the Bronx. Now, why am I showing you this? Well, Kathy Hochul made some really dumb comments about Bronx school children that resulted in a lot of backlash to Kathy Hochul. We're going to be talking about those comments and the Democrats' soft bigotry of low expectations. But before we get into all that, please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other shows. And if you like what you're seeing here in this or any other video on the channel, please be sure to smash that thumbs up button, like, comment, share the show with your friends, all that really, really good stuff, because everything you do helps support the show by feeding the YouTube algorithm.
What?
Feed me!
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for all that you do to help grow the channel. You know I really appreciate it. And for all you newbies out there who may have stumbled upon us for the first time, I'm glad you're here, and I hope I earn your subscription in discussing this video of Kathy Hochul's controversial comments, her buffoonish comments about Bronx school children and their knowledge of the word computers, and how that comment is emblematic of the soft bigotry we see in the Democratic Party for years now. We're going to talk about the comments, the backlash, and the walkback by Kathy Hochul, and we're going to start that right now. Earlier this week, Hochul traveled to Los Angeles for the Milken Institute Global Conference and sat down with Associate Editor of the Washington Post, Jonathan Capehart, to discuss the future of work and her opinions on how technology like AI will impact that. Incidentally, how is it that it's these Washington Post reporters that always moderate these discussions on stage in front of people at these different symposiums and conferences and all that? We saw that with Chris Christie last week as well. It's amazing the influence of these left reporters are on this sort of pseudo-intellectual, political opportunist speeches that we've been seeing in different places. But let's put that aside for a moment and focus on Hochul's comments in regards to this question from Capehart.
Talk about your newly announced Empire AI Consortium and how you hope it will make New York become a global leader in artificial intelligence.
Jonathan, I don't hope it will. We are very confident that what we're doing in the state of New York, and this idea came from Tom Secunda at Bloomberg, one of the founders of Bloomberg. We sat down and had breakfast in October in New York City, and he says, I have this idea that what is happening, the power of supercomputing right now is in the hands of the large private companies. What if we created a consortium that opened up all the potential of AI to larger groups, such as college campuses?
Fast forward.
So now what we have is the money to build a phenomenal supercomputer that is going to be accessible to researchers in New York, college students, will attract more federal grants, and this is how we lay down the mark. No state has done this. And in fact, I talked to a lot of other people who said, I wish my governor had thought of that first. I said, no, this is New York. We'd like to be first.
So, translation, Kathy Hochul and the state of New York is building a supercomputer powered by AI.
It's Skynet all over again.
I can't think of anything more scary, more terrifying than that thought. A liberal supercomputer, because you know, the People's Republic of New York, it's run by liberals. It has been for decades now. Imagine harnessing the power of AI in a liberal state like New York like that. That's a whole other video, I guess. What's coming up, though, are some very controversial comments from Hochul. Let's get to them.
With all due respect to people from other states. It's sort of our attitude. You know, we will be the best, we will be the first, and I want others to follow, because right now we have, you know, young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word a computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges. I've created this.
Did everybody hear that? I'm just going to play it one more time here.
Right now we have, young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things.
Okay, so I just want to point out something before we go into the analysis of the comment. Pay attention to the sign language interpreter on the side there.
Right now we have, young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things.
Oh my goodness. She knows. This woman of color, the sign language interpreter, she knows that Kathy Hochul has stepped in it with that comment. Look at that face. Hochul's comments in LA reverberated all throughout the People's Republic of New York and met with criticism from both the left and the right, including from Bronx Democrat Assemblyman John Zaccaro, who said, and I quote, "Our children, far from being underestimated, are the epitome of brilliance, resilience, and untapped potential. They are not only capable, but deserving of every opportunity that their counterparts are offered. It's disheartening to witness such a portrayal that undermines their abilities and aspirations."
You're absolutely right, sir. You've hit the nail right in the head.
I totally agree with Zaccaro here. Children in the Bronx are not less than. Children in the Bronx are just as capable and talented as anyone else, and they are deserving of the time and attention and resources that every student is afforded. I don't think that Kathy Hochul really thought through what she was saying, but what she is exhibiting is what I talked about earlier, the soft bigotry of low expectations that seems to pervade the Democratic Party. And when we come back from the break, I'm going to give you some examples of that from the past. Like what you see so far? Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Also, leave us a comment and tell us what you're thinking. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another show. Let's see if you guys remember these oldies but goodies from the party of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
Walking around the hood with this? I just have one thing to say.
Oh, look, it's the video from my intro on my YouTube page. Check it out when you can.
Hang on here. All right. I tell you what, if I had the talent of any one of these people, I'd be elected president by acclamation.
What's something that you always carry with you?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Are you getting information right now? And by the way, what you all know, but most people don't know, unlike the African-American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things. You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Playing that race card.
Yeah, this is what the Democratic Party is. This is your party of diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's a party of tropes, exploitation, pandering. You see what's going on here. And Kathy Hochul's comment falls right in line with this tradition of Democrats, these white saviors, these limousine liberals who believe that it is their job to lift up poor downtrodden peoples and communities. No, that's not your job. Your job is to govern so that everyone has an opportunity to grow financially and prosper and not be treated like something different or outside of mainstream society. It's completely ridiculous. Kathy Hochul's comment goes right along with this soft bigotry that you see from the Democratic Party. Hochul eventually released a statement retracting her comments made at that conference, saying, and I quote, "I misspoke and I regret it. Of course black children in the Bronx know what computers are. The problem is that they too often lack access to the technology needed to get on track to high-paying jobs in emerging industries like AI. But that doesn't take away from the fact that Hochul made a patronizing, gross comment that is completely out of touch with reality. You want to know how to find out if a comment is really gross and racist coming from the left? Replace the name of the person making the quote and put in Donald Trump. If Donald Trump had said what Kathy Hochul said in LA, don't you think there would be upheaval on every major news network? Wouldn't there be people speaking out? Wouldn't there be marches organized by Reverend Al, the ultimate alpha and omega buffoonery that we identified in my book? Yes, of course that would all be going on here. But instead of getting sermons on the Mount talking about how the right is racist, we get deafening silence on the left, with the exception of some few like Zuccarro, who are ignoring the soft bigotry coming from the Democratic Party. And I think we're starting to see minority communities realize that Democrats look at them as monoliths, as voting blocks to exploit for their next re-election bid. And we're seeing that because Donald Trump is actually doing very well among minority communities. There are many people stepping out from the monolith of Democrat control and dominion and speaking out against what they're seeing from Joe Biden on down. It's no longer a given that 90% of the vote is going to go for the Democrats from minority communities. It's certainly at stake in the general election. And it's because of people like Joe Biden, like Hillary Clinton, like Kathy Hochul, who keep spewing this limousine liberal savior nonsense and expect the black communities to just take it and continue on voting for them. It's not happening anymore. I feel like there's a change coming very soon, and it might be in this election cycle. But listen, hey, that's just my opinion. I can dream, can't I? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. And as always, like and share the video with your friends, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Let's get into the comments together, talk about the buffoonery of Kathy Hochul, the soft bigotry of low expectations, and all the other shenanigans and buffoonery happening every day this week in DUMBmocracy.
All views and opinions expressed here are not necessarily of the mainstream media and may offend some listeners. It's called political buffoonery.